But then Gwyneth Paltrow decides that she's going to post a video of Meghan in her kitchen, and basically it's like, we're laughing at you guys for thinking there's something going on here, you stupid idiots, you peasants. Is Gwyneth Paltrow serious about anything, or is her life just one great big troll?
Genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Denise, and today I wanted to talk just a little bit about the fallout from the Meghan Markle show. Obviously, we did With Love Meghan, and we talked about every single episode together. This show was stupid. Y'all know how I feel about it. It was boring. She had on guests that did not jive very well with her, and she brought out nothing from the guests that she had. She showed us no tips and tricks. She did not show us anything that we couldn't have already figured out on our own. Was the show beautiful to watch? Was it well produced? Yes. It was so much production value for so little actual practical value that the show had promised us that we would get, and then we got nothing. We got how to write a menu about estate honey, and we got things like how not to zest a lemon, but there really wasn't anything there for the public. So, of course, that spawned 1,000 critics, lots and lots and lots and lots of content about how dumb the show was. But it wasn't just like nobody YouTubers like me who had something to say. Other people were throwing shade at Meghan as well, and one of those people was Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, she has since, as of yesterday, tried to smooth over the idea that she and Meghan are in any kind of a feud. She's not a mean girl, okay? That's her daughter Apple. But she's not. And yesterday, she posted a video of her and Meghan in the kitchen of Gwyneth Paltrow's house, and she's like, I don't know where all these feud rumors are coming from, and she pans over to a piggish Meghan who is stuffing her face with pie and acting completely ridiculous and like, oh my gosh, I don't know, this is so funny. It was ridiculous. Now, why would Gwyneth try to gaslight us like this? I mean, there is no doubt in my mind at all that she's been throwing shade at Meghan. And this isn't like something that they had cooked up together. This is damage control, which she's very good at, and we're going to talk about that in the video. But Gwyneth Paltrow has absolutely been trolling Meghan, and has been for several videos. Okay, what we need to know about Gwyneth Paltrow is that obviously she has built an empire on her own Goop brand, and has done so for years. She does not need to clap back at Meghan. Meghan and she aren't even on the same playing field as far as the grandeur of their empires, but also what they're trying to do. Gwyneth Paltrow may be an out-of-touch elitist who has such claims on her website as heal your vagina by putting a crystal egg in it. But Meghan's not trying to do that kind of thing. She's over there putting swoops on her calligraphy and suggesting you make as many crudité platters as you can before your hands break. So I don't think that Gwyneth even needed to clap back. But for her to say now she wasn't, liar, okay? Big fat liar. It all started when Meghan's show came out and Gwyneth had been interviewed and somebody said, what do you think about Meghan? Or asked her opinion on Meghan's show. And Gwyneth is like, I don't even really know Meghan. I don't have an opinion. Basically like, oh, is there somebody named Meghan Markle, you say? I don't even know. I don't know her. So already, like, acting like Meghan was beneath her knowledge or understanding. And then we see Tracy Anderson, Gwyneth Paltrow's personal trainer and somebody who's very much featured in the whole Goop brand, in her kitchen. And she's doing a cooking video. And she says explicitly in the opening of this video, here I am in my kitchen, my real kitchen. Obviously responding to and clapping back at Meghan for doing a whole show in which she insists that you remember this little dinky, sad set, not my house.
Hi, I'm Tracy Anderson. Welcome to my actual kitchen. We have a Tracy Anderson Green Goddess Crunch Goop Salad coming to Goop Kitchen for you.
Now, everyone was saying something about Meghan, but also most of us don't have lifestyle brands that we are sort of in defense of. We don't have to clap back at Meghan in our little cooking video because somebody new has entered into our space. It seemed beneath Tracy Anderson to say anything about Meghan what she cooks. Like, you are not, like, Meghan is not in your playing field. She's not in your lane. She could never take the power that Goop has. One, because it's not the same brand, but two, she could just never get there. Gwyneth Paltrow is hated, but her brand continues to grow and she has momentum regardless of how silly her candles are. I mean, we're going to talk in a minute about all the crazy things that Goop is about, but it's not what Meghan's about, so there's no need. So I thought the Tracy Anderson thing was kind of lame. Not because I care about defending Meghan, I just don't understand why anyone would be like, I don't need to roll around in the mud with Meghan because she's not a threat to me, but then choose to do it anyway. But the greatest troll of all was when Gwyneth Paltrow posted a video of her cooking in her kitchen. Over this video, she's playing the music that was part of Meghan's trailer for her show. Popular song, anybody could play it, but under these circumstances, it seemed like a very particular her kitchen, no makeup, and she's going to make breakfast. She is not making some stupid avocado toast. She's going to have a proper breakfast. She's got bacon, she's got eggs, she's making herself some biscuits, which look disgusting, and she's got jam. But she starts the video out with her drinking coffee out of a mug that has a crest on it with two initials entwined. It's very much a call to Meghan. You're not the only one, girl, you know. And so she's got her crest. And then she's making her breakfast and she's like, you know, kicking her leg up, kind of like how Meghan's over there in the trailer for her show, like clapping her hands and spinning things. And, you know, so Gwyneth Paltrow's being, you know, silly. And she's got her dog in the kitchen as well, just like Meghan always had her little mutt, you know, prancing around at her feet. And, you know, the whole thing is basically a troll of Meghan. I mean, there's no other way to read that, especially since right now the conversation is so much about Meghan. So the chatter online is like, whoa, look at Gwyneth. And all the people who've hated Gwyneth Paltrow for ages with good reason because she's just so out of touch and odd. Now suddenly it was like, slay girl, you crazy queen. You know, it's just like everybody was loving the fact that Gwyneth Paltrow was going after Meghan Markle. So suddenly there was all these people who had always given the side eye to Gwyneth, now suddenly like running over and being like, Team Gwyneth. But then Gwyneth Paltrow decides that she's going to post a video of Meghan in her kitchen. And basically it's like, we're laughing at you guys for thinking there's something going on here, you stupid idiots, you peasants. I have no idea why Gwyneth Paltrow wants to side with Meghan at all, when it was very clear this whole time that she was being kind of mean girlish to Meghan. And I say this not because Meghan's not a mean girl herself. We know that she is because of the legion of people that she's left crying in her wake who have quit their jobs rather than work with her. But Gwyneth Paltrow just did not need to do that. She didn't at all at any point need to throw shade at Meghan, which she clearly was 3 times. And not always through herself, but through her association, say, like with Tracy Anderson, who is attached to the Goop brand. So the whole thing was stupid to me. I just could not believe that somebody on Gwyneth's level would get down with Meghan and even think that she needed to throw shade. But Gwyneth Paltrow has a history of making poor choices. And the greatest one now is if she truly decided to be in league with Meghan, which I don't think so. I really think that this was really more like cleanup for her in some way to make it seem like she hadn't been so lame as to create not 1, not 2, but 3 moments in which she's trying to throw Meghan under the bus when she should be above it. This is clearly a PR move to sort of clean up whatever mess there might be, regardless of the new fans she created from the Meghan haters who were like, yay, Gwyneth. Gwyneth Paltrow's history of making poor choices is pretty flabbergasting. When you look at what her brand is about, it is astounding to me that she has managed to maintain. And I don't know if it's just because people love to haters. But the thing is that her brand is making money. So there has to be some people out there who have bought into the kooky ways that she has. That crazy brand has brought us some of the worst advice you've ever seen. Starting with, let's go sit on a throne and steam our vaginas with mugwort. What is that? I mean, gynecologists have come out and been like, please don't do that. Not healthy. And she's like, this will help with your hormones. And it's like, well, the vagina doesn't create hormones, so I'm not sure what you're trying to do with your steam throne over there. This is a person who brought us this smells like my vagina candle. What in the actual? I mean, it's like she is an insane person. She has a Goop summit. And then, of course, behind her is a floral wall of art that it's all supposed to look like your lady parts. The lady is obsessed with it, which is something that Meghan would never do. Like, Meghan is so scared of saying anything that's like a little spicy. She would never in her wildest tell you to go put a crystal egg in your vagina as a means of female well-being. Because Meghan is scared of anything that she thinks would sully her brand, except for all the things that she has done that has sullied her brand. She thinks that saying spicy words or talking about spicy subjects or anything like that is like, oh, I would never be untoward. But it's like, Meghan, your entire life is like littered with the bodies of people who can't work for you anymore because you're so mean. You have no family. You have no friends. Your husband is lonely in a country that doesn't belong to him, floundering around, doesn't know which way to go. But you're worried about saying a word that might be a little too spicy. Like on our podcast, as we've talked about many times, Meghan continued to avoid words and phrases that she thought were just a little too controversial. Like the word bitch, she wouldn't say. She's like, then they called me the B word. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm not saying we need to just go around littering our language with foul words. I'm not a fan of that. But what I'm saying is, like, she is constantly trying to avoid things that she thinks are dicey and spicy. So we know that she's not ever going to impede on Gwyneth's vagina territory. So why Gwyneth felt like Meghan was any kind of a threat to her brand, I don't understand. Gwyneth Paltrow is continually over there hawking crazy advice and then being offended when the masses are like, what the bleep are you talking about? I'm not going to use a bee sting to help my anti-aging process. No, thank you. I actually think the bee venom does not have anti-inflammatory properties, but could kill me. She is constantly hawking these crazy ideas and then being like, sometimes I just want to quit Goop because it just seems like people are so mean. Yeah, because you just told me to go in a room and get stung by a bee to help me not age so quickly. You're crazy, lady. You got crazy advice. You're weirdo. She's like, I wanted to start Goop so that I could help people know where to buy the best wine when they're in Berlin. Are you insane? That's not the highest point on my priority list. I don't need somebody to open a brand so that I know which spa to go to when I happen to be in Florence. I need you to explain to me why you thought this was a service. But the thing with Gwyneth is, she's never tried to make you think Goop was for you. This is not for you. And she's always said, I'm not a poor person. I don't know how to act like one. This is stuff that I use. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I can't pretend to be poor when I'm not. Okay, well, thanks for your honesty. But Meghan is over there trying to teach the everyday man her tips and tricks, Trick number 1, stand over your bowl when you crack an egg and just like commune with it. So I would say Meghan's tips and tricks are a little more accessible for every man, except we don't want them. But for me, Gwyneth, this is just like one more poor choice that Gwyneth has made. To first troll her and then try to gaslight us into believing that, you don't believe your lying eyes. I never did troll her. Gwyneth Paltrow is such a mean girl. It's so obvious. First she's being mean to Meghan, and now she's trying to be mean to us and lie to our face. Yeah, right. Okay? We know that you just raised the biggest nightmare that the world has ever seen, the up-and-coming Apple Paltrow Martin, who was, allegedly, kicked out of school for bullying a girl to the point that the girl wanted to... You know what I'm saying? Do you know how hard it is to get a child expelled from a private school? It is extremely difficult. Apple must have been a vicious, scathing, foaming at the mouth monster for them to have said, it's time for her to go. And of course, everybody in that situation has had to sign NDAs. You can't find anything about this incident, although the people involved who did not have to sign an NDA, friends and witnesses, have come out to say, yeah, Apple's not here. Apple had to leave high school because of this. Now, Gwyneth Paltrow quickly planted stories that she and her husband were trying to decide what to do with her education because he wanted one track for her while Gwyneth wanted another. Apple was not expelled from school. Oh, God, no. It's just that me and her father are trying to decide the best track for her and give her the best opportunities. If there was any drama, it's just that me and her father could not decide on the right track. Of course, I wanted her to go to my school. He had schools that he was interested in, but in the end we chose to pull her out and put her in another school, but that was actually a family decision, so that's the word that went out. But after watching Apple completely try to upstage another girl at the debutante ball several months ago and completely steal the thunder from another little girl, it just seems very clear, like without question, Apple is a nightmare. And that's because she was raised by a nightmare mother who's also a mean girl. She learned from the best, you guys. Gwyneth Paltrow is an out-of-touch person, the everyday person who has had a chance to meet her, who scrounged their little pennies together and went to her $5,700 Goop Summit weekend where you were supposed to go and have this amazing weekend with Gwyneth Paltrow where she taught you all the things, and it turned out it was nothing more than an elevated sales pitch that you had to get through. They all said, she was cold. She didn't really want to be there. She got out of there as fast as she can. She, did the bare minimum and then she left. It's like, she doesn't like people and she doesn't care if you know. But Gwyneth Paltrow has consistently faced the accusation that she's an out-of-touch person who's quite cold in real life and who is, very stuck on her elite life. One thing that I really dislike is when people are annoyed by somebody else because that other person has something they don't have. I don't dislike Gwyneth Paltrow because she has more than me. If that was my standard for liking someone or disliking them because they happen to have more than me, it would be a long row for me to hoe. And I just think that being annoyed with somebody because they have more, or you think that they're, bragging about what they have because they have a pizza oven and you don't, like, grow up already. Okay? Of course Gwyneth Paltrow has a pizza oven that you don't have. Of course she has money you don't have. Of course she has the kitchen you don't have. Like, I don't care. Whatever. I don't dislike her because she has more than me. That's a stupid reason to get my panties in a wad. I don't like her because I feel like she's constantly presenting something to us. And then when people reject it, they're just like, that sounds like a you problem. I have no problems. Case in point, in 2012, she was at a concert, Jay-Z, Kanye, they're on stage, and she decides to tweet, N-words in Paris for real. This was 2012, okay? I have no idea what pale as the moon Gwyneth Paltrow was doing, tweeting out N-words in Paris for real. And when backlash hit, inevitably, she had nary a word in her defense, nor did she even seem that she needed to. Not even an apology, not even a, I have no idea what I was thinking. Apparently this was like the name of the song or something like that, so her mild defense was, I was just tweeting out the name of the song. It just seems like there could have been any other songs for you to tweet out. It just seems like you had to know that was going to happen. Which brings me around to, I think everything Gwyneth Paltrow does is a troll. I do. Do I think that Gwyneth Paltrow is over there walking around with a crystal egg in her vagina all day long? No. I highly doubt that she is doing the ancient Korean medicine of sitting on a steam bath for her vagina. What are you talking about? I don't think she has her house littered with $75 candles entitled, "This smells like my vagina." Like, what are you talking about, Gwyneth? Like, you don't do any of this stuff. And she said as much when she was sued for the crystal egg thing, when people were like, this is dangerous, man. And what are you talking about? Like, this is not acceptable. And she had to give people, she was like fined or something for it. And she went on a talk show and was talking about it. And she's like, well, it helps me. And also, if there's a lot of views on it on my Goop website, win-win. So, I mean, it's like everything she does is just to continue to market her brand. She's trolling everyone all the time. Like, nobody goes to a concert where there's two black artists on stage and tweets out N-words in Paris for real, if they're not trying to troll the world. She's not an idiot. She had to have known that there was going to be some backlash there. So I guess my question at the end of this whole video is Gwyneth Paltrow serious about anything, or is her life just one great big troll? And I think that it is. I think she has so much power and so much money and so much, she's sitting on the top of the world. Like, she wants for nothing. Everyone knows her face. Everyone knows who she is. That all that's left to her now is to just be kind of a big old weirdo and act like she's serious about things. But I can tell you right now, Gwyneth Paltrow is not going in for her daily bee sting. That is insane to me. So she can pull a move from The Help and invite Meghan over for a piece of pie. But we all know what's happening here, and we are being served up some hot trolling. And I'm just not here for it. Gwyneth Paltrow has been trolling Meghan. I don't care what she says now, but I also think her entire life is a troll. I think her entire Goop brand is to see what she can get you to buy into. I think she finds that hilarious. I think that she finds it hilarious that people would buy into these things. Now, I'm not saying she doesn't love to eat healthy. I'm not saying that she is, in a mad dash to find out how to, stop the aging process. Does anybody have any infant blood she can drink? But what I think is that so many of the things that she's talking, it's the weirdest thing she could find. Why do you think she's so obsessed with the vagina? Because it's just scandal making. It's just gets people talking. Nobody names a candle, this smells like my vagina, without trying to get a reaction from people. That's a classless, crass, stupid thing to say and do. Which again is why I can't even believe that she feels like she needs to clap back at Meghan or even get involved with Meghan in any way. Like, how bad is the Goop brand doing that you feel like you have to generate some interest in your brand by attacking a brand that is so far from anything you're trying to accomplish that is not even in the same universe? Get it together, Gwyneth, and grow up. And that is what I have to say about that.